lipstick. Oh no, you're not gonna have a face for radio.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I forgot to send you an email, Mark, about the I pay the show. Should send that to you. I hate doing that, you know.
What?
Well, I had to send him an email to let him know how much the show
Number of the
cost,
weeks,
you know,
yeah,
the other shows.
changes
and
every other.
What is, I started writing my check, but I couldn't remember what the second and third digits were after the 3.
You talking about the number in the check? Oh.
No, what? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I can remember if there was something attached
Nope.
to the 3. It's the brain that's going.
Unfortunately, we're all. Oh, thank you.
It's 12/5, December 5th. What happened in history on this day?
Nelson Mandela died.
That's true. He did die
Oh.
today. Yeah.
Oh, did he really? Just happened.
95 was it?
Yeah.
Or something? Yeah.
I know. I think he was the same age as my father.
Oh, that's all right.
But how long was he in prison? Mandela?
I don't know.
20
something years?
About 23 years,
That's just unbelievable.
something like that.
Yeah, I don't have a special trivia contest this time either.
No?
No,
No.
slacking off. What can I say?
We could play liar's dice.
Yeah. Yeah, boss.
Can I move these?
Let me
Or this
see.
person.
Yeah, just for you,
Checking
we
my-
can. We'll
How
move
many
this
do you
in.
need to grab them right away? Oh,
This
okay,
is
this is
my
Facebook, that's right.
Yeah, we don't like white. No. White doesn't.
No.
Is this okay? Is this on the floor?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right.
That's good, because we're not gonna get that.
This one. Which one?
Oh,
Thank you.
you know what? This one would be best. Yeah, you can just move. You can just move.
I kind of like this one.
Well, the funny thing is, that one, for some reason, if it's not exact, it drives me crazy. Doesn't hear.
It's haunted.
I want that.
All right.
Highlight the bombardier.
They're
Oh, there, yeah.
coming in. Charlie Company, A Company, B Company to B, C Company.
Julie, want to start with you? You got.
What do you got? What do you got?
Me, I've just got the Detroit ruling blows a deal to unions.
Detroit ruling blows.
Email time. Julie,
yeah.
what do you suggest to better my house ready for sale besides landscaping? And Mark.
Tear down and rebuild.
Yeah. Again, the question, why are you so grooking? Grooking. No. Do you only look at doing first mortgages, or are there times when you will do a second?
Depends on my mood.
Okay. If that's the answer, that's the answer. You're not listening to music, are you? Yeah. Rocking out, baby. Rocking
Ain't nothing but a hound dog.
out. Okay, you ready? Let's get the show on the road.
I have a party to go to.
Oh,
Hey, I wish I did.
Me too.
Chamber Convention.
Oh, is that
Which one?
Fairfax. My home.
They even have a chamber? How
Ryan
many
Murphy
people?
will probably be there. He's the one that
Pretty
sent me
big.
the
Yeah.
really nasty email.
Who?
Ryan Murphy. You know Ryan Murphy?
Oh, yes, I do know.
He's the one that sent me the nasty snide email I was just talking about.
Why?
He was on my just funded distribution list, and he writes back just this afternoon. Since you won't send me any deals, why should I care about your just funded list?
Ooh. Because you should be in the fund. Hello. Hint, hint.
Yep.
Okay. I don't want to mention it without mentioning names. Just say,
Oh, by the way.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Go. Ready? Welcome welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing on Talk 910, the show where we present valuable information about real estate, the financial markets, and other economic business of the day. For those of you listening for the first time, here's our format. A few people sitting around a bar having drinks, without the drinks, talking business with you, the audience listening in. Julie, did you bring the drinks today?
Yeah, they're in my trunk.
They're in your trunk. Okay, a good place to have them. I'm your host, Edward Brown, and I'm pleased to have as my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, California's fastest growing private lender, and Julie Kennedy of Marin Modern Real Estate. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Write that number down, 888-912-1190, because you're going to use that number to answer the trivia questions for 3 vacations given away during each commercial break. That's right, we're giving away 9 vacations during this show. Now, the vacations are not sponsored by the radio station, but by Lighthouse Resort and Marina, which is located 1 hour northeast of San Francisco. The vacations are free. Their only request, a $75 cleaning fee to cover housekeeping expenses. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Check them out. You can also reach them at 916-777-5511. Today's trivia theme is pop music of 1982. That was before Julie was born.
Favorite year.
Okay, our website is bestofinvesting.com. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube by typing Best of Investing Radio Show. We're also on television, Comcast Channel 26 and AT&T Channel 99 on Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 6 p.m. Now, Julie, you've got some very interesting articles and stuff to share with us.
Well, I do have a few things. I think the first thing I want to mention is I recently read an article in the California Association of Realtors website, and they listed the top 10 turnaround towns in the United States in terms
really?
of, yeah. So now California has 2. Does anyone know?
Stockton.
Nope.
Really? I was just to say, they got hit so hard.
Well, you're close.
Sacramento?
Fresno.
Nope.
Okay, we only have like 58 more counties to
Okay,
go.
let me tell you. So one's Oakland.
Oakland.
And the second is San Jose, and actually Oakland was number 1.
Really?
Yes.
I did see another report, and I'm for the prediction of cities that will continue to have double-digit growth and appreciation in 2014, and Oakland was at the top of the California cities predicted to continue to have.
I'm going to guess that because San Francisco just, I think, was on fire. It's just a natural progression as people are going to go to Oakland, right?
Well, true, except that now Oakland has gotten so hot that the deals are slim and few. So, we're going back to Stockton again.
Well, it's interesting. Oakland is still one of the cities where at Pacific Private Money we're probably the single number 1 city that we make loans in is Oakland. And if you look at the 15 deals on average we're doing per month, invariably 4 or 5 of those are in the city of Oakland. I mean, there's more single-family homes in Oakland by count than any other city in the Bay Area, and so it's just interesting that there's still a lot of opportunities. But you're right. Some of my repeat borrower clients who are all contractors and rehabbers, they're stumbling over each other, fighting over the deals, and so what's happening is the people are starting to do more creative methods of getting real estate deals like pre-foreclosure.
I don't know if you realize that Pacific Private Money, Mark's company, is probably single-handedly bringing up the responsible. Yeah, exactly. You're bringing up the entire economy of Oakland.
Well,
we certainly have had our bid. I don't know by count, but of the 600 loans we've originated since 2008, it wouldn't surprise me if 200 of those were Oakland.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and I think with Oakland, one of the reasons for that big increase is because it was down so low, was so terrible.
Well, that's why I guess Stockton.
So a lot of investors and first-time home buyers ran into that market and just flooded it. So now, you're in that situation where you're getting, multiple.
Well, what's nice about it though is it was so downtrodden for so long, and like with Mark's company, we're doing fix and flip. You're actually really helping the economy and bringing the standards up. Properties that were dilapidated or whatever.
The gentrification.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and not just our company, but the people who are investors in the private loans that we originate. Because again, we're Pacific Private Money. We use private capital. These are individuals, most of whom live here in the Bay Area, that have made their money available to companies like Pacific Private Money to fund real estate loans to the fix and flip community who were left by and large hanging by the banks, because the banks stopped making loans to real estate investors in 2008. which is why a lot of companies like Pacific Private Money were formed right around that time, post-subprime meltdown, to provide capital to those people who are going around and finding opportunities. You know, one thing I wanted to mention about Oakland, which is, you know, Oakland is one of the things that happened in a lot of neighborhoods in Oakland, and this is not just Oakland, this has also happened all over California, but Oakland in general. Sacramento is another city where this happened a lot, Stockton, and that is when real estate prices were appreciating rapidly in between, you know, the end of the 90s and 2001 through 2006, and so many people were refining equity out of their homes, and they were getting these absurd appraised values on homes that were in no shape. If the appraiser never actually walked inside and looked to see that these homes built in the 1940s had never been remodeled. So what ended up happening for a lot of homeowners in Oakland and Sacramento and other markets all over California is that they found themselves owing way more than the property was worth. And it's not that they bought it for too much, it's that they got, you know, loan after loan after loan after loan, pulling out their equity, enjoying, you know, and spending as a consumer would, and then all of a sudden they owe $500,000 on a home that was appraising for $600,000, but really wasn't worth $1 over $300,000.
Right.
So when the market corrected,
those homes really got hurt.
Right, and so my best flipper clients were finding these homes that, you know, with great bones in established neighborhoods. When you walked in, they still had the original kitchens and bathrooms, and, you know, turned these things into beautiful, like new turnkey homes by taking them down to literally to the studs.
Right.
But
New
can you
electrical,
do
new
that
plumbing.
though in neighborhoods where, you know, every other house is boarded up as an example? You
Well,
can't quite do it that way.
the brave ones, yes, they started that
Really?
way, and so now when you drive through most neighborhoods of Oakland, what you see are mostly remodeled homes. So there's still plenty of homes that have not, and there's still a lot of opportunity, but there are streets where if you had driven down those streets 5 years ago, yeah, you would have seen quite a few boarded up homes for people who, you know, basically left in foreclosure and they ended up bank owned. But you drive down that same street today and it's new lawns, new exterior paint jobs, new windows, and if you were to walk inside, you wouldn't even recognize the houses look like new.
And you would think that that sort of thing will just prompt better neighbors, and, you know,
It
just,
absolutely
just
does.
snowballs in a good way,
Yeah, in
just
a
like
good
it
way.
can snowball in a bad way, you know,
Sure.
the other way.
Well, another thing I like about Oakland is that there are so many very well established middle class communities that are highly in demand. A lot of people want to live in those established neighborhoods of Oakland, particularly the ones that are near Highway 580. So it's 580 from the Maze on south. There's on both sides there are these neighborhoods. Maxwell Park comes to mind. In fact, I probably have made more loans in Maxwell Park than any other Oakland neighborhood. It seems to be, you know, one of those communities where a lot of people really desire to live there. They're great entry level and other homes, and not as many renters there as there were before. A lot of homeowners there now. So anyway, there's just a lot of opportunity in Oakland. So,
But you know, it's funny though. You know, you've always said if it bleeds, it leads, and so many times if you just say the word Oakland, automatically you keep thinking of shootings, how many murders. But
well, and
not
that's what
every
makes the
neighborhood,
paper, you know, because there are neighborhoods, you know, there are areas, you know, some of the more notorious neighborhoods would be what are referred to as the avenues as you start getting down towards the Coliseum, off of near Hagenberger and International. And again, I'm not trying to, you know, black mark any particular neighborhood, but there are some of the areas where the homes there are very, you know, they were built in the 30s and 40s. They're very small homes. They're very low priced homes, and a lot of rentals there. And so it just attracts more of the, you know, type of people there that are going to.
But if you say
in
Oakland
gangs.
Hills,
Right?
then that's a
Or
little different.
Rockridge, or.
But there are just a lot of great neighborhoods. Some with beautiful Victorian style homes and
Well, architecturally, I mean, I was spent some time recently in Alameda, and that is just a fabulous
there's a
town
lot of good stuff there.
architecturally.
Okay, we're going to cut to our first commercial break. Again, the theme is pop music hits of 1982, which, by the way, was a very good year for music. Here's our first commercial break trivia question. Which rock group had hits such as Centerfold and Freeze Frame? The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse
I know
Resort
that.
In fact, we're going to get Kramer to sing one of those songs. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Kramer, you can sing tenor, right? 10 or 15 miles from here? That'd be fine. Okay.
TEN.
Okay, I call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. Which rock group had hits such as Centerfold and Freeze Frame? Again, we're going back to 1982. 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, your email address, speak slowly, spell out your email one letter at a time. Don't touch that dial. More, but the best of investing. We'll be right back.
I think in 1982 I was listening to Raffi.
To what? Raffi?
Oh, those children's,
Oh,
Yeah, the
82.
tape
That's
and
when I
the-
graduated from college. So what was
Yeah.
I listening to? I was listening
I had too many little kids
to
in my Volvo.
AC/DC,
Oh.
that Back in Black came out right around then.
No, that was before that.
81?
Uh,
Yeah, 80, 81.
So what's the
81.
answer? I have
Well,
no
you'll
idea.
find out.
It's a band whose member starts with an initial.
That's right. That's correct.
So I didn't mean to steal
No,
all the
no.
thunder.
Oh,
so I
no,
just I
no.
like it being kind of
Yeah,
just
I like
you
it
know.
conversational.
Yeah. So you probably
This
have
is
more, so we
popular.
can go right back to what else you
Yeah.
got in that bag of goodies.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to talk about, you mentioned about the small homes, but the trending small homes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Let's talk
Okay.
about that. That's good. Then I can talk about my recent move from a larger home to a smaller home.
The death of the McMahon.
The death of the McMahon.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Do you know the answer to the question?
Centerfold, penthouse, exhibit summer. Would you?
The answer to the question.
Pardon me?
The answer to the trivia question.
Would you?
Do you know the answer?
I probably didn't even hear the question.
You didn't even.
As soon as you
listen.
said centerfold, I thought penthouse, but
Center field, I know that.
Center field.
I was like, I like that song.
Centerfold. No, I don't.
You don't. Okay.
No.
Well, Mark
Freeze
will
frame.
give us the answer.
Yeah, Mark's up on this stuff.
Mark's good. He's the music king.
He is the. No, you're
I
not
was
bad
listening to Led
yourself.
Zeppelin last night on my new speakers.
It's either that or your watercolor is one.
Yeah, right. Led Zeppelin or Spa. That's go from
Yeah,
one to the other.
I know. That's why it's like on my iPod. It's ridiculous. I've got Phantom of the Opera and I've got AC/DC in the literally like
Just act like it.
yeah.
I've got
it just-
Eminem and Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, yeah. Literally.
I do. Oh.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Okay, here we go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hunt, president of Pacific Private Money, and Julie Kennedy of Marin Modern Real Estate, our expert in real estate. When we got to the first commercial break, we asked this trivia question. Again, we're talking about, the theme is pop music hits of 1982. Which rock group had hits such as Centerfold and Freeze Frame?
Well, he might resent you calling him a pop star, but
Yeah.
it was Jay Giles.
Jay Giles Band, that is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, Julie, you're going to talk about that famous fast food restaurant, the McMansions, the death of McMansions.
No more drive-through for you.
no drive-through for you.
Yes.
Well, my partner Natalie Kemp and I were looking at what we wanted to focus on for next year, and checking out trends, reading various articles on the internet, and clearly, and this is not a new trend, but the move to downsizing is something that we're seeing. And by downsizing, we're just also talking about not just the baby boomers whose children have left.
That's the first question I was going to ask.
But
you. Yeah.
we work with a lot of relocation clients, younger clients, and we're hearing more and more people saying, I don't need a big house.
I don't want to do all the dusting or mowing the lawn. And all
They
that.
want the great room. They don't want single-purpose rooms.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
the-
like in the old
like the
days, you
dining
see the
room,
dining room,
Or
yeah.
the living room,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I was not
Totally.
allowed to go in when I was growing up unless we
Oh.
had company.
Really? That's
Because it was like this special purpose room. It was a sacred room.
Did they have the plastic over the couch?
We didn't have the plastic
No,
over
okay.
the couch, but we were just, it was like a big treat.
And
go in
what-
the living room.
did you have like the not the dishcloth, the towels that the guest towels?
Yes,
You really? You weren't allowed. You know what? I gotta say, I am allowed to go in every room in my house, but they're the towels that are in our bathroom that are hanging out. No, even I don't use those.
Yeah.
They're collecting dust.
It's
Go ahead.
interesting you say that, Julie, because I'd be curious to know how many people really, when it comes to the the dining room, excuse me, the dining room, it's easier for me to say, living room and family room, I would just
One
much
big room.
rather have a great room
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
an area for a nice kitchen table.
I'd rather have
That's
a pool table.
what a wasted. I mean, we never used our dining room and rarely went into the living room.
Well, the dining room tends to be like tabletop storage,
Two times a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Homework.
yeah,
maybe.
homework maybe, and then, yeah, once in a while when you have the company. There is a woman named Sarah Sasenka, excuse me, and she has written a number of books about the not so big house.
Okay.
And it's a fascinating, she's an architect, she's designed some homes outside of the Chicago metropolitan area. And her whole premise is basically use the space that you own. You don't want to have big hallways, big unused rooms.
Well, I spend most of my
And-
time in the bathroom, so that's why I want that to be cherry, baby.
But
Walk-in master bath.
well,
Yeah.
but bathrooms
Kitchens.
continue, and kitchens are the two most important rooms for home buyers.
See, first I eat in the kitchen, then I go to the bathroom, and I just keep going back and forth between the two.
But you know, when you go to someone's home and there's a party or a gathering, where does everyone go?
The kitchen.
Right.
Yep, that's true.
So the house should really center around where the activities are,
Right.
and the activities tend to be.
But you know what? A couple hundred years ago, if people had that fancy a big house,
Mhm.
they had the wait staff and all
Sure.
that, and that's why they didn't. Only the kitchen stayed in the kitchen.
Mhm.
That's why they had the
Well, the challenge of remodeling an older home, like for example, right now I'm in escrow for a short sale that we were the winning bid on, and so I'm pretty excited about that in Novato, and it was built in the early '70s,
Mhm.
and so it has the small kitchen, which is separated from the dining room, which is separated from the living room and the family room. I mean, it's just literally, you just want to tear down all the walls inside, and as you said, like make a great room where you've got a kitchen, and then that opens up right into a large room where you would have the TV and have the furniture, and you don't have a living room because that's just silly. It should be
Right.
a family room kitchen combination. Now maybe an area for a formal dining room. So I think of the two rooms, the dining room and the living room. The living room is the one that you can
Right.
probably 80% of the time get rid of first, and then maybe keep something for formal dining. But
Well, Sarah Sasenka, what she envisions in the rooms that she designs, or the homes that she designs, is you have this great room with like a library alcove, which is
Ooh,
a
I
great
like that.
spot, but it also is long, so it's a little pushed out. And if you are going to have a big family sit-down meal, you pick up your dining room or your big
Yeah.
farmhouse kitchen table, and you take it into that space, and then you have an instant dining area.
Listen, all I care about is the dog house, because every once in a while, you know how things go. I just need to make sure they have a nice big dog house.
But I think the attraction and the popularity now of the Eichlers, for example, where you have a lot
atrium
and all the open space and the flow of the indoor outdoor. Our
Yeah,
firm
I like
does
that.
a lot. We're sort of known as the Eichler specialists, and the appeal of those homes is lots of light. And when you take down walls and you have these big open spaces, you've got a lot more light and air. And
You know what? That moves me right into an email that we received for Julie here, and because you're mentioning about just because of what you mentioned, I said let's just get right into your email there. A listener writes in, Julie, do you suggest to, or excuse me, what do you suggest to better get my house ready for sale besides landscaping?
well, it's sort of a two-pronged answer. I think the number one thing I would tell someone getting their home ready for sale is have a home and a pest inspection.
Ahead of time.
Ahead of time, exactly. Because when it comes time to put your home on the market, you don't want to have any surprises when a buyer comes and does the inspection.
Yeah, because a lot of times, even if something costs, say, $5,000 to fix, they're going to say, "Oh, and knock $15,000 off the price."
Exactly.
Yeah, good idea.
So I like to counsel my buyers to first do a home and a pest inspection. Sometimes the home inspection will reveal something as simple as putting GFIs in the kitchen, or maybe replacing the hot water heater because it's old and failing.
Well, also, I would think you'd use that to your advantage then in presenting that
Exactly,
to
because
the,
you-
I
right.
mean, if you're the listing agent, you're
Because
gonna
you have
present
your
that to the
checklist
buyers. Yeah,
of-
say, listen,
of
we've already
recent
had an
work.
inspection.
Yes, and the recent work that's
How
been
much is
done.
a general inspection?
Well, there's
300 bucks?
one company that does both home and pest, depending on the size of the house, about the 600, 650 neighborhood.
Yeah, it's usually about $300 each one.
Yeah.
Roughly.
They've
Sure.
gone up a little in price because I'm sure the liability for the home inspectors,
Oh, yeah.
insurance has increased. But you can really learn. And I also tell people, like, when you're a homeowner, have a home inspection every 5-6 years, just to keep on top of potential maintenance issues.
Well, there didn't used to be GFIs years
Right.
ago that I
That was a
remember.
GFI. But the other thing I would tell people to do, of course, is to declutter, perhaps paint, get rid of any potential odor-causing things like old rugs or curtains. You really want to freshen up the house because
Well, especially if you have pets.
Yeah,
And
pets.
a lot of times pets can leave that
Yes.
nasty stuff.
and I have a pretty good nose. When I walk into a house, the first thing I do is the sniff test, and I can generally tell if there's a pet in the house that perhaps has some
Well, Julie,
issues.
okay, I'm sure we have some listeners who would love to get your advice on this kind of stuff. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, the best way to get a hold of me would be to go to my website, which is nestinmarin.com. And you can also reach me by telephone at 415-497-8584. And if you do happen to go to the Nest in Marin website, I just wanted to share, after the show today, I'm heading off to a holiday gathering. I feel so lucky and fortunate to be able to enjoy the season and have ample food and gifts for everyone I know, but there are so many people in need.
Mark and I are contemplating ours.
So anyway, on our landing page on the website, we have a link to a virtual donation to the San Francisco Marin County Food Bank. And if anyone would like to visit our website and find out all the tips we can give you about staging your home, getting it ready for sale, you can also make a donation, and we'll soon have the Alameda County Food Bank on there as well.
Very nice.
Nice.
Okay, we're going to cut to our second commercial break. When we come back, we've got a very interesting email here for Mr. Hunt. Okay, the theme is, I call it pop music. Could be, rock music, whatever, but just music, let's put it that way. Music hits of 1982. In 1982, the song Iran, not Iraq or Afghanistan, but Iran, became a hit for the British rock group A Flock of, then fill in the blank. A flock of what? The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. In 1982, the song Iran became a hit for the British rock group A Flock of what? Call 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, your email address. Speak slowly. Spell out your email one letter at a time, please. Don't touch that dial. The best of investing. We'll be right back. Can't remember what show we're doing here.
Wait, I just feel like I was asleep in 1982.
Yeah.
So your friend or your associate was Laura
Natalie?
or Natalie? What's
Natalie Kemp?
that's your partner. You were talking about the person who does the
Sarah Dippity or something.
Oh,
no?
Sarah Sasanka. Sasanka.
Sarah Serendipity.
And I'll
Is she a designer or planner or
Mhm.
what's she?
I believe she's an architect. I think her background is in architecture, but she became very interested in the tiny house movement, the small house movement.
Okay. I'm only asking because I expect to be notified shortly that the bank accepted my short sale offer on that. I mean, they actually did. Well, the buyer accepted it. The bank just has to approve it, but the bank had already approved that price for the previous buyer who fell out before me.
Right.
And
When
so,
would you move in if it gets approved?
well, we're not. We're going to stay at Belmar Keys. We're going to
okay.
remodel it to sell.
Just as an investment.
Because it's been a long while since I've done. I mean, I'm not a pro. I'm a numbers guy, not a.
Well, if
I
you-
can swing a hammer, but I don't want to. So I'm looking for some referrals to people. I've got a couple already, but
Like designers or?
Yeah, just a planner, someone to go in and go,
Oh, yeah.
oh, okay, this is what
I
I would,
have somebody really
I
good.
wanna remodel the house to sell
Right.
at its optimal resale value, given the location. It's in Marin Oaks is in Ignacio, right by
Right.
the country
Is it
club.
not a house that you'd like to live in?
Well, possibly, but we had to sign an 18-month lease where we just moved in, and so.
Yeah, but it's gonna take a while to remodel this.
Well, yeah, but I don't think.
Hopefully not that.
Yeah, hopefully not that.
No, that's true.
We could remodel it easily in less than 6 months and put it on the market, but again, I want
That's
somebody.
in the
You covered the
county, it's not
camera.
the city of-
Just because my face was in it, that's okay.
If it's in
Yeah.
Columbus,
Just show how brave I am.
Well,
We're buying it for $650, and the top sale in that area for the same floor plan was $850. So, but I don't know how much it's going to cost to properly. But it's literally in its original
Right.
condition.
Well, I'll shoot you a couple names of people that I've worked with.
Yeah, I'd like to.
My brother's good at if you want from the standpoint of remodeling type
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, as long as it's not a huge job where you need like 20 guys.
Well, it's one where you walk in. It's like, well, which walls do you take out? How do you reconfigure the house for today's living? How do you the bathrooms
You know, my
need to
brother
be
was really
remodeled
close to there. You may want to just call him.
Yeah.
Just to, I mean, he's not a designer, but
Yeah.
he's got so many great
Well,
ideas.
yeah, usually
and,
like that, they're doing it every day and they
Yeah.
get the vision.
and the thing is, he's inexpensive.
Yeah.
He does good quality. He's honest and he's fast.
This is your brother.
This is my brother. Yeah, that's why he's busy all the time. You know?
Let me use his name.
Yeah, he's a contractor, general contractor. Okay, here we go.
Oh, wait a minute. Time out. I don't know why I don't. Okay. Sorry.
Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hahn and Julie Kennedy. When we cut to the second commercial break, we asked this trivia question. Again, the theme is music hits of 1982. In 1982, the song Iran, and as compared to Iraq and Afghanistan, Iran became a hit for the British rock group A Flock of Mark.
Julie, you don't know that one?
Pigeons.
Seagulls.
Seagulls. Mark thought it was a flock of goats, but no, that's not correct. Okay, a flock of seagulls, that is correct. So, Mark, we got an email for you from a listener. Now, we've had this question before, so this listener may be a new listener. Does your company only look at doing first mortgages, or are there times when you will look at doing a second?
Well, you know, it really just all depends. What's interesting about private lending today is that unlike bank lending, which really has to be completely, you know, nonpartisan, it's just a numbers game when you can't discriminate in any form or fashion if you're a bank. So you go into a bank and you fill out an application, you are literally just a set of ones and zeros. It's all about the FICO score and your cash in the bank and you know the value of the property. You're just your numbers. There's nothing subjective at the end of the day for the most part when you walk into a bank and make a loan application. Now compare that with when you contact a private money lender, also known as a hard money lender. So you can use hard money and private money interchangeably. It's just that in the last 5 years we've kind of gravitated toward the term private money lender because we don't believe that our industry resembles today what hard money 10, 20 years ago used to be. You know, it used to be the lender of last resort for people in distress or in bankruptcy or in trouble. And nowadays we provide financing largely for real estate investors who don't have access to capital anymore because the banks stopped making loans to them. So the question was, do we do seconds? And it really just, it depends on whether I like the deal. So I make, and I use the word I, we have a team at Pacific Private Money. There's 4 of us who underwrite loan applications at Pacific, and including myself. And I look at a number of variables. I look at where's the property, what condition is the property, what's the neighborhood like, and how much, what's the existing loan on there, how much equity is there, and if I do make you a second, what's going to be the combined loan to value at the end of the day. The lower that number, the more comfortable I might be in entertaining that application. Then I look at the.
But it's not just that, though. You need to also look at the comparison of how big the second is compared to the first.
That's true. If it's a home in San Francisco worth $2 million and they have a $1 million first, and they're looking for $100,000, I'm not going to do that because that's the
Yeah,
a
the
million,
ratio's too.
the ratio's too high, and so not very many people will want to have that kind of exposure where they're in second position behind such a large loan. And then I look at the borrower, and so what's the story with the borrower? What's his credit score? What's his income? What's his financial statement look like? What is, oftentimes, because again, we're not making seconds on consumer owner-occupied homes, this would presumably be investment property that he wants a second on, and so what's his real estate experience? So I look at all these variables, and we really, at the end of the day, make a subjective value judgment. And quite frankly, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, I'll even listen to the tone of the conversation that I'm having, because I will want to talk directly with the borrower. I won't make a loan like that through a broker who won't let me talk to his client. That's unacceptable. I need to talk directly to that borrower and have a conversation. And if something sounds a little bit off about the person, I'll just pass. And it's not about it's not about discrimination, but it's about being discriminating. Discerning, yes. And because again, I use private capital. I use client money. This is their life savings. I cannot be messing around making loans to people that I don't feel in my gut are going to be able to basically pay that money back. What's your exit strategy, as we say in the business? How are you going to pay this money back? Are you going to sell the property, or are you going to just wish for some magical event to happen that's going to allow you to pay the money back? The wishful thinking. There's a lot of wishful thinking exit strategies out there that I see on a daily basis. We have to turn down a lot of loan applications on a daily basis, and I do turn down most of the requests for seconds that we receive. But we probably make once out of 15 to 20 loans per month, we're doing maybe 1 second a month. So it's not unheard of. It's just rare, and it's rare because my investors prefer that I don't put their money in seconds. That's really the bottom line. They want to be in first position, and right now, and this has been the story since 2008, the strongest demand for loans right now are for first position loans, either purchase loans or a complete refinance of an existing loan, or cash out financing on a home that's free and clear. Again, all investment property.
Well, tell us a little. Very easy. Tell us a little bit about your fund, because people, that was a borrower question, but there are people out there who actually want to earn a decent rate of return on their money.
Right. So at Pacific Private Money, we have a investment product for our private lenders that we call the Pacific Private Money Fund, and it is a mortgage pool fund that is regulated and registered with the Department of Real Estate. And so we've got investors who invest in that fund, and right now it's paying, our target shareholder return is 8.5%, somewhere between 8 and 9%. In the third quarter, our payout was at an annualized return of 8.9% to the shareholders. And so a mortgage pool fund works this way. You essentially, it's like a mutual fund of real estate loans. So your money is used for only one thing, and that is to fund loans to real estate investors. And these are largely short-term loans, almost exclusively in Northern California, although we do have a couple of Southern California loans in the fund right now. So short-term loans to real estate investors, mostly purchase money loans, mostly to buy, fix, and flip real estate. And that's the single strongest demand for capital that we see at Pacific Private Money. And so as a fund shareholder, you write your check to the fund, and within a day to, at the most, a couple of weeks, your money gets transferred into the operating account. As we fund new loans, it begins earning the shareholder return, and we have a 2-year minimum investment period, which is pretty easy to swallow. I think it's not too long and not too short. So 2-year
No fee to get in.
No fee to get in and no fee to get out if you keep your money in for at least 2 years. So again, it's a mortgage pool fund. The weighted average of all of the loans in the fund, the weighted average loan to value is 60% right now. That means that if you took the market value of the real estate that we have loaned against and compare it to the loans, it's at a 60% loan to value. So it's very well secured in our opinion. And again, these are loans that we've been making for the last 5 years. We've made over 600 loans to date, and no shareholder or no lender losses on any of those loans.
Can you imagine that? Not a single person?
You know, when I was listening to you answer the question about the second, how you talking about looking at, speaking directly to the potential borrower, looking someone in the eye. I mean, that reminds me of the old days when, you know, you had a relationship with a banker and they sat down and they talked to you and, you know,
There's a character issue.
but beyond that, I mean, it becomes a personal relationship.
Didn't Bill Clinton say character doesn't mean anything? To me, it means everything.
It does in our business, yeah. And that's what I mean when I say if I'm having a conversation with somebody on the phone who calls me, if there's something that I get a gut reaction that something's off about this guy's character, he just doesn't sound like a person of integrity, I'm going to politely decline. I may refer him to, you know,
somebody you don't like.
The guy down the street. Hey, go call him, see if he'll make you a loan.
Well, if that were the way that all the loans that went south were funded, they wouldn't have. I mean,
yeah, that's a good point.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Well, that's why I started out by saying that banks can't. I mean, the bank business model doesn't allow them to do this. They can't. You know, well, small regional banks can still meet with you and make a character decision. It goes to their
like a
loan
bank
committee.
of Marin.
Right, exactly. But you know, the
Bank
B
of
of A or
America,
Wells Fargo, Citi or Chase, the big four, that still account for a vast majority of the consumer home loans today. It's just a numbers game. It's all computerized, and there really is no room in there for subjective decisions.
Well, except their numbers game certainly fell down like a house of cards.
They sure did. Okay, we're going to cut to our third commercial break. When we come back, I've got an interesting article here about Detroit and the unions and what's going to happen during bankruptcy. It's kind of interesting. Okay, again, our theme is music hits of 1982. Tommy Two-Tone had a song about Jenny. What was her phone number? The first three callers which is basically, that's really the name of the song. The first three callers with the correct answer. You know this one?
It's coming.
It's coming to you.
Hearing
Okay.
the lyrics.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not our phone number of 888-912-1190, but apparently somebody paid $50,000 in New York because he just loved to have that phone number.
Wow.
Okay. The first three callers with the correct answer are going to win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. Tommy Two-Tone had a hit song about Jenny. What was her phone number? Which was really the name of the song. Make sure to include your name, your email address. Speak slowly, please. Spell out your email one letter at a time. Don't touch that dial. The best of investing. We'll be right back.
Well, I'll date myself.
9/11.
Beechwood 45789.
Oh my gosh, that does go
a
back
diff-
at that.
That's
Okay, you know what? Answer that. That's funny. That's a good one. Yeah, I like that. Good.
Wasn't he local? Wasn't he like a Marin guy? Tommy
Tommy
Two-Tone?
Two-Tone? You know what? I think he actually was. I don't know where.
And that was
Actually,
only,
Montrose.
that was his
Montrose
one hit
just
wonder.
died.
What?
Yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, Ronnie.
Yeah. In fact, Spencer Shear knew him really well. Because Spencer. Actually, if you ever get a chance to listen to Spencer, he plays at Trek Winery in Novato. Periodically, he's got like a gig going. He's actually got a very good band. An attorney, a real estate attorney, very good real estate attorney too.
Multi-talented.
Yeah. Foreclosure.
Well, we always need good real estate attorneys.
So that you're underwater.
The other good one is Jeff Lerman.
That name's familiar now. We have somebody that our company uses.
I don't think Lerman's a rock star though.
No, he's more of a real serious. I don't think I've ever heard him crack a joke.
Actually, he invited Lisa and I to join him at a Mill Valley fundraiser where, that's that funny comic from Saturday Night Live who did the church lady.
Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey was there. So we got a picture of me and Dana and Jeff was in his leather jacket. He had let his hair down that night. I'd never seen him actually lose because I usually see
When
him
the sun goes down.
Yeah, usually he's in his suit being Mr. Lawyer. You know, he is a very serious kind of guy generally.
Yeah. Okay, 9.5 minutes to go.
9.5.
You a trust lawyer?
Say again?
Isn't he a trust lawyer?
Trust.
Specializes in trust?
Yeah, the wife,
well,
Michelle
Michelle,
Lerman.
we've had her on
Lerman
the,
is-
yeah,
on the air.
specializes in
Yeah,
trusts.
her husband is Jeff Lerman, who does real estate.
Oh, real
estate. Okay, here we go.
I'll give people my information too.
Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hoff and Julie Kennedy. When we cut to the third commercial break, again, the theme is music hits of 1982. Tommy Two-Tone had a hit song about Jenny. What was her phone number, which is really the name of the song? Now, Julie, what did you think it was?
Would it be Beechwood 45789?
No, that would be from the 1950s. Tommy Two-Tone, I don't even know if he was born back then. Mark.
867-5309.
867-5309. That's right. Okay, now, Mark, when we cut out, we had forgotten to tell the listeners how to get a hold of you if they want to earn over 8% on secured mortgages that are at less than 62% LTV.
Right, exactly. So again, we talked about private money loans and also how we use private capital to fund those loans. And our mortgage pool fund right now is paying a little bit more than 8.5% yield to shareholders. So for more information, you can give us a call. Our Bay Area phone number is 415-883-2150. That's 415-883-2150. If you call, leave a message today on the phone, I'll give you a call back personally next week and chat a little bit with you and send you some information by email. Or if you'd prefer to, do it a little bit less conspicuously, just go to our website, which is pacificmoneyfund.com. pacificmoneyfund.com. And there you can get information about the Pacific Private Money Fund.
Okay, I'm going to change subjects here. Thank you very much for that, Mark. Detroit ruling deals a blow to unions and retirees. So this judge says that bankruptcy can be used to cut pensions. So this would be a Chapter 9 protection because it's a municipality. So he said here, I'm just going to quote a few things here. He wondered aloud why the bankruptcy had not happened years ago. Said that pensions can be altered just like any contract because the Michigan Constitution does not offer bulletproof protection for employee benefits. And I tend to agree with him. Why should they, meaning that contract with pensions, get, compared to, why should they get protection compared to, let's say, a plumber or a roofer who's a creditor of the municipality? If when their roof leaked, they needed to hire a roofer, and they probably, I don't know if they all they didn't pay the bill, and then suddenly they get messed up, but the contract with the pensioner doesn't. That's not really fair.
So is this going to be precedent setting potentially?
Maybe. Apparently, the number of creditors, more than 100,000 of them. And you got to figure there's going to be some small time people, not just big companies. That big construction company can afford the loss. I mean, you can't treat it that way.
No.
The decision set stage to confront $18 billion in debt with a plan that might pay creditors pennies on the dollar. So before the July filing, nearly 40 cents of every dollar collected by Detroit was used to pay debt, a figure that could rise to 65 cents without relief through bankruptcy. So, I mean, they definitely needed to file bankruptcy, and they really needed to file it a while ago, and they, in my opinion, and they have to restructure these pensions. It's just, things change.
Well, based on, we've been doing this show now for 3.5 years, and 3 years ago, remember all the shows where we were talking about defaulting muni bonds and other cities and counties and municipalities that may file bankruptcy. I'm actually, a number of years later now, looking back, it's like we're actually really fortunate that it wasn't worse than it was. I mean, we really dodged a number of bullets, and I think it's, aside from the muni bond issue, which I think is largely now not as much of a scary phenomenon.
No,
as
if
it
the
was.
economy comes back and real estate taxes get paid.
Right, exactly. But these unfunded pension liabilities, that still is a really big, anvil hanging over the head, and it's just one where we just continue, just like Social Security and Medicare and with Obamacare even more so now. We're just kicking the can down the road. I mean, it's a scary thought.
Well, it's because they have a defined benefit plan where they guarantee a specific benefit rather than defined contribution, which is, look, we'll just put this money in and it's done, and then whatever happens to it happens to it. If you make a lot of money, you make a lot of money. If you don't, at least let the pensioner decide where he wants to invest his money. I think.
Well, it's obvious that every county and municipality that has these large unfunded liability issues hanging over their heads, they're going to be addressed either
one way or the other.
Whether through bankruptcy or through common sense, back to the bargaining table.
Maybe Detroit will print its own money. It's funny. This reminds me too. I was listening
during the Civil War.
I was listening to Armstrong and Getty. Mark and I listen to those guys a lot. They're great. They have a lot of good stuff. Oh, and they had brought up that someone had mentioned about from the government talking about Obamacare, and they said, yes, finally we're doing the right thing, and we're getting as efficient as the private sector. And it's like, well, if that's the case, hello, why did you have a government do it to begin with? It should have always been the private sector.
Absolutely. Crazy.
Well, I'm pretty proud of the state of California, though. I mean, we're really picking up and doing a lot better.
Yeah.
There was some good news, and I mean, we still have quite a bit of debt.
Yeah.
But
I think the jobs market sounded pretty good, though.
But I think Jerry Brown is, pretty rigid, pretty, held
the
it
articles
together.
this week were talking about how he essentially is facing
no
opposition.
no opposition.
And what is he, 75 now? So what would he be at the next election? Be 76? Wow, that's just that's interesting.
That's the new 50.
Yeah.
Maybe he was
70's
moon
new
being
50.
years ago, but he went around the moon a few times, and he's kind of come back.
It's hard not to like him. I mean, even though we tend to be conservative here, and he's not, but he's not a wacky liberal either.
Well, I think that
That's
he has a belief in a policy, and I think his policies, specifically economic policies, are fairly
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I think his fiscal policies seem to be working fairly well. He realizes that there's a problem here. It's got to be addressed.
Right. He's pragmatic.
Well, given the fact that I know that I personally am paying some pretty high taxes here in the state of California, at least, they're not singing the blues of this huge deficit anymore. So we're finally looking at budget surpluses.
You saved Oakland. Now you're saving California.
Yeah.
Mark, you're the man. What's next on the save the planet, Mr. Arnold?
But what remains to be seen is what is the state going to do with that money, and are they going to start paying down some of those bonds?
No, they're gonna come up with new social programs.
See, that's the scare. It's that government is so incredibly inefficient, and one thing it's darn good at is coming up with new programs. Oh, we're gonna have to spend it on schools again.
I'd rather if they get their house in order and they pay everything down, get debt free. Let's say they can even get debt free, then you can start going back to those programs again, right?
There's always going to be programs that make sense, but you can't just treat the economy like Costco and just go in there and go, oh, I'll get a big bag of this and a big bag of that.
Well, you know what I say about Costco?
What's that?
I can't afford to save that much.
Yeah.
Which probably applies in the
what? They should why don't they
just
just make the taxes 90%, and we'll just trust that the government will just take care of us?
There you go.
Would that work out?
Sure,
Mark,
why not?
did you just cringe?
I shudder. Chill just went through my spine.
Did you see the chills going up through his spine? All right, so we've got some kind of cute thoughts for the day here.
Okay.
My dog is worried about the economy because Alpo is up to 99 cents a can. That's almost $7 in dog money. Okay. And recently, one of the computers in our office not only crashed, but it also made a noise that sounded like a heart monitor. So one of my co-workers said, this computer has flatlined. So of course I yelled out, does anyone know how to do mouse-to-mouse resuscitation? Is that too punny or what? I'm sorry, audience. All right, so tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away 9 more free vacations for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown, wishing you the best of investing. So long. And that's a wrap.
Oh, yes.
Well, I-
Stop this bad boy here.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite part.
That's your favorite part?